Oh, right. Hey, what's up, guys? Just welcome back to Fate Grand Order. Last time in the main story, we finished LB3 got wrong. And I feel bad. They fucking twisted the knife with Gerda, like, yeah, she's all happy-go-lucky waiting for us to come back, and then gone. The game hates us. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway. Hey, Mary, that KV6 Gogeta. We're gonna start LB3 today. But first, I showed members yesterday. But I threw my 5, monthly summon tickets randomly on someone. And you'll never fucking guess what happened. You'll never guess. Goddamn Karin C. Hortensia on the 5th summon ticket was like, yo, what's good? And I was like, oh. Really? 6 10 pulls on Ushi, nothing. But Karin's like, yo, I want to come to Caldia, please. I can't believe it. I can't believe that shit. Just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, though, I suppose. But I mean, can't complain. Because I did want to get Karin eventually. She was like kind of low priority, but I did want her, so that's, can't complain. Can't complain. Yeah, her banner is gone now though, so yeah. I also want Mysterious Hero next altar, but I'm gonna try and save for Andromeda, who should be soon, like next week, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna quit rambling. Let us get into it. Spell number 3, the Synchronized Intellect Nation Sin. And we should be meeting Shion. Even though her name is different, it's Shion Eltnum something. It's not Atlasia here. I don't remember what it was though. It's Shion Eltnum. What was it here? I don't remember. But yeah. Oh, we're back with the Sukaris. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're back with the person we saw. Was this at the the prologue of LB1? I think we saw like some survivors' perspective briefly. How long has it been since I left the colony of survivors? I assume this is the same person. I managed to keep a log for the first 30 days, but now it just feels like I've lost the ability to keep track of time. In my defense, it's hard to count the days when we don't have nights anymore. It all blurs together. You know what? Fair. I still have no idea how things got to this point, but what I can say for sure is that somehow the sun is shining on every corner of the world at once. With everything bleached white as far as the eye can see, you get numb to time as well as distance. My food and water are starting to run out. Once they do, that'll be it for me. At least my old motorcycle's still purring like a kitten. Meow. I never expected this solar generator to work this well or for this long. I mean, good thing it did, right? Or is, right? Proved you can ride as an old motorcycle from Australia to North America, as long as you have a surface to ride on, and a solid engine. Yeah. I suppose. All I drive over seems to be endless white wasteland. No, maybe wasteland isn't the right word. It's more like pavement without so much as a single crack or seam to be seen. It's nothing like a desert either. There's just nothing here. I don't even get that natural sort of austerity wastelands give off. It's not so much that it seems like life's died out, as that it never existed to begin with. Case in point, I have not seen even a single sign of death or decay this whole time. Wow. Not a single corpse, no plants, no animals, no insects. Not so much as a microbe. This isn't a dead world. It's an empty one. There's nothing. Not even bacteria to make food spoil. It feels clean. Too clean. Never mind the last bit. I must be more tired than I thought. I'm getting overly sensitive. I can see an unnatural shape just up ahead. Probably more remnants. I think I'll rest there today. Maybe there'll even be some food left if I'm lucky. Probably not. Remnants in this case are areas that somehow escaped the reset. Or, well, more places that remained in part despite rings being reset. The colony I left behind was situated in one such remnant. If any satellites were still intact, we might have even been able to find and connect with other survivors. Not that it would have made us any less powerless to fix all this. Yeah, I don't know what... I'm assuming you're a normal human. Well, maybe not, because why would it be showing us your perspective if you were? No, we'll see. After that, or after all, if that tree were to attack again, humanity would be well and truly gone. But yeah, probably no chance that you fixing anything. Survivors 0. Signs of people having been here 1. A single message. No food, sadly, but any port in a storm. Besides, just seeing artifacts of civilization like this again does wonders for my morale. Even if it is gutted ruins from a brutal invasion. I guess. I shrug my shoulders as I sit down on what used to be a sofa. David, huh? The shrug is just a desperate ploy to convince myself I'm calm, but strangely it still helped. I play back the only message dated to be found. It's essentially the same as all the others out there. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, run away, run away, run away. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, why? No, help me, help me, help me. Please forgive me. No, I don't think I will. Whoever you are. I don't know. There it is again, why? Why were these people attacked? Why were they erased? I did my best to recall that day calmly and objectively. The year when Earth fell to invaders from another world. Truth be told, we had time to prepare, did you? Maybe it was only 12 hours, but it was still time we could have used. But instead everyone just gawked at it. On that New Year's Eve, we lost every satellite around the world in an instant. Damn. In consequence, we weren't able to observe a single cosmic ray, even as the whole world was reduced to a blank, dust-gray sphere. I know now that it was a membrane in the sky, a dome of sorts made by the tree's branches that was placed over the entire world. But we weren't exactly in a position to sit down and take stock of what happened on that day, not with other crazy things going on. 12 hours later, Armageddon. A total slaughter. A massacre on an unimaginable scale. Uncountable tree things descended on the Earth like so many tentacles from space. Space tentacles, you say? They crawled across the world, finding and exterminating all forms of life with unerring accuracy and unnerving tenacity, killing almost every human on the planet over the course of 3 months. After that, the trees just disappeared, returning to the sky and leaving behind a blank, desolate world. Even now, thinking about it makes me tremble. Not at the revelation that aliens really did exist, not even the realization that our world, our civilization, had been erased and would never return. No, what scared me was those trees' tenacity, the way they extended their branches to destroy a person's heart with a single stab. Upon their death, people would instantly turn to dust, their agonizing screams still echoing around them. There were no exceptions. Even though these aliens possessed weapons of mass destruction large enough to blot out the sky, they chose not to use them. Instead, they went out of their way to erase billions upon billions of people one at a time. They were like some kind of twisted artisan burning with perverse passion for their craft. Those of us who did survive, like myself, only managed to do so by being in hidden underground facilities at the time. You just happened to have one of those available? Okay. Dizziness starts to overwhelm me. Maybe I've been under a bit more strain than I realized. I'll just rest up here for today. Hey, you do that. Tomorrow I'll set back off on my journey of wishful thinking. I may not have much food left, but assuming I've stayed on track, I should be at my destination soon. It's the last place any of our satellites caught on camera. The only place in this whole world that hasn't been wiped clean. An area in southern Nevada. Area 51? That's right, my destination is... Okay. Indeed it is. That's right, my destination is the Air Force Base, known as Area 51. Signed, David Bluebook. Well, you know, I'm assuming in Fate Universe, Area 51 really is, full of alien tech. I assume that's what we're supposed to be getting from this. I imagine. No, usually it's Vegas, but well, I mean, I guess Vegas is also Southern Nevada. But why would Vegas survive, right? I feel like it had to be something, you know, potentially crazy. So it's like, oh, Fate could, you know, emphasize the conspiracy theories around Area 51. So it was kind of like the first sensical guess, I suppose. It's like, again, why would Vegas survive? The raw degeneracy? Maybe? Because I don't remember the name of the street, but there's this one street where you'll just see women with like pasties over their nipples, and that's about it. Like, it's, you know. Anyway, yeah, right. It's like it's really the only one that made sense. Because again, you know, why would Vegas have any? Yeah. I'm interested. I do think it will be interesting to. Sorry, voice crack. Yeah. See how what they do, because like obviously, you know, Area 51 isn't full of alien tech in real life, right? Despite the conspiracy theories. Probably. Probably. But I think it'll be interesting to see how they run with it in Fate, I guess. How much crazy shit goes on there in Fate Universe, right? Let's see. I think it should be an interesting experience. Did we drive into a hood? Right. Yeah, with my still having a bit of a cough and my throat being a bit messed up still, I'm not gonna even try and do Gordolf's voice. Just gonna keep it real. Did we drive into a whole other world when I wasn't looking? It was nothing but clear skies as far as the eye could see just a moment ago. Apparently. I've got an announcement of my own. I estimate the border has about an hour until it sinks. Yeah, just one problem. There's no land to go back to. We're smack in the middle of the North Sea. Da Vinci, can we still initiate a zero sail here? Surely that must be preferable to sinking to our deaths. Yep, yeah, probably, you think, but... Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, this whole thing. Formulas won't be stable enough on water. You have to rewrite the software from scratch. Hang on, I'm getting a call. Hello, Shion. Go ahead and open up a line, Mr. Mounier. And hurry, Da Vinci's no use. Right, on it. CQ, this is the Wandering Seas dock. Do you read me? Yeah, we read you loud and clear. That vessel, that would be Chaldea's ship, right? No, wait, not a ship. Oh, I see a tank. Rational, yes, very rational. A ship is unnecessary for a zero sail. But I say, you have no sense for design. Well, they weren't really all that worried about that when they were making it. Might as well be a large metal coffin. Nothing charming there at all. Thanks. Be honest, you would never have made it back without my paper moon, would you? Are you gonna help us or keep... we've heard all this before. I get this probably came out, like, a year after LB2, so they wanted to do a recap of what happened at the end. But, like... Bruh. Fine job making it all the way here. Everything is proceeding within my calculations. It's coming from the Wandering Sea, but where? For my... Where? Right in front of you. Oh, hang on. Let me clear the fog. It should be easier to see then. Proceed on your current course, so you may want to reduce your speed and be sure to give thanks. Alright, this will be the first time in over 2,000 years that this island has revealed itself on a day other than December 31st. Cool. Welcome to the Primordial Magecraft Workshop, the Boldanders of the Wandering Sea. My name is Shion Eltnum Sakaris. I'm a Spiritron hacker who escaped to the Wandering Sea when I predicted that the world was about to end. I've been waiting for you. Being the Atlas Institute's last remaining member, the Wandering Sea higher-ups entrusted me with the project of writing this bleached Earth problem. Alright. That's cool. Good for you. Okay, I know that was just a minute ago, but... Oh. Well, we followed the directions that bizarre transmission gave us right to this lump of rock. Now, can you tell me what this is about, Da Vinci? I'm glad the border isn't bobbing around like a damned cork, but have we been sinking these last 2 minutes, or haven't we? I have the same question. It seemed to me like the border sank underwater before it emerged on the surface. Don't look at me, I didn't do anything. Once we got to those rocks, it felt like the currents kind of carried the border the rest of the way. Probably some, Wandering Sea, witchcraft, magecraft bullshit. Looks like I tried to steer us, but the currents were just much too strong. The border sank about 40 meters, but then popped up about a good 30. And I think we must have gotten into the Wandering Sea from underneath, since I didn't exactly see a front door. Perhaps that's how they go about docking ships here, or how they keep ordinary ships away. Sounds right to me. I just wish she'd given us a little heads up. Well, all that matters is we're safe, right? As long as we're safe, who cares? Does mean we're at the Wandering Seas docks? Probably. Hopefully. That would appear to be the logical conclusion. The issue at hand, however, is what? Are we sure this is the Wandering Sea? And how do we know it's safe outside? Fair point. Mounier, fire up every sensor we've got. I want to know everything going on outside the border. Roger, but I've already been doing that. I'm not picking up anything at all. Not a damn thing. Testing. Can you hear me over there? I'm afraid the Wandering Sea cannot be observed by any means created by our relying upon science, not even partially. I would give up on trying to see what's going on outside that hunk of metal you've been riding around in. None of your sensors will see anything here. Besides, danger is a no-no here, and there's no way there would be anything wrong with my calculations. Her being this chatty is weird. Like I get it's because she doesn't have, you know, a whole bunch of bullshit with with his name's escaping. Her ancestor guy who's a vampire, and her being a vampire, but this entire turnaround of her personality is kind of freaking me out. Zepia, yeah. Right now, this is the most peaceful, happiest, scariest island in the whole world. How can it be peaceful and scary? Maybe the researchers here are, uber powerful? I don't know. At any rate, come on out, visitors. I didn't open up my darling secret base today just so you could hole up in that big metal box of yours. Yeah, fair. Well, what should we do now, everyone? Probably go out. Since our sensors are blind, someone's gonna have to take one for the team and poke their head outside. I nominate Holmes. Isn't he still kind of sort of recovering a little bit? Agreed. You can always use your Baritsu if things get dicey. Damn. Unfortunately, I'm afraid I actually can't use Baritsu just yet. At this point, I dare say you could outfight me, Director. Good point. Holmes is gonna need more time to recover from the injury he sustained in Scandinavia. So then, as the only combat-ready servant here, I should be the one to... I think we'll be okay, Mash. Come on, let's go. Right, I was just thinking the same thing, Master. Fofo? Well then, I'm coming too. I'm way too curious to stay on the border. Friend or foe, the Wandering Sea is still a mystic among mystics. Yeah, probably gets your curiosity humming, huh? No way would I pass up a chance to check out the place that still has mystics from the Age of Gods. You better not F off not getting mixed up with those places, if you ask me. They even say the clock tower is in inhospitable hell when you get right down to it. Yeah. I see you plebs know your place. You shouldn't do that. In your own way. You're quite right, Mounier. One should never move past one station to peer into the secrets of magecraft of the organizations that keep them. The moment you do, you'll be so shocked by how vastly they overpower you that you may find yourself bedridden half man for a month. Yeah, being half mad's not ideal. I guess. It's all risk and no reward. Curiosity isn't what killed the cat; it was fear. True. Maybe. However, as we humans are not cats, it's possible to overcome those fears, much like I did. Mash Kirilight, Ritsuka. I hereby authorize the two of you to investigate whatever lies outside. Once you're certain that there's no danger, call for me right away. Oh, and try to stick close to the border, would you? You should be no more than a 5-second sprint from here at the most. Okay, Dad. Roger that. Okay, sorry. I'm going to open the border support hatch now. Are you ready, Master? As ready as we'll ever be. All set here, I've got your backs. I may not be much use in a fight, but I can make damn sure nothing gets by my defenses. Thank you, Da Vinci. Opening the hatch now. Gonna be a cool animation. Or just... shutter open. Transition. Okay. Well. It's very factory-esque. It's incredible. What is it? Wow, this place is amazing. Look, Nash. Look, Ritsuka. Oh, this is like top shelf secret base stuff. It's like a picture book come to life. Whoever designed this must have been such a dummy. Yeah, sure. Thanks for the kind words. I must be doing pretty well if the great Leonardo da Vinci, famous genius and notorious problem child, would speak like that about me. Wait, is that really Da Vinci? Yeah. Isn't she a little off? Too girly? Just a little too high spec? Hey, you there, Master Ritsuka, yeah? Is that girl there really and truly Leonardo da Vinci? Well, yeah, mostly. I sure am. I'm a Da Vinci backup unit made by the one and only Leonardo da Vinci herself. What about you? Are you the girl who contacted us? Oh right, I'm so surprised by girl Vinci here that I forgot my manners. Cut, and take two. I'm Shion Eltnum Sakaris, an alchemist here to mess with you guys on behalf of the Atlas Institute. Uh-huh. Oh, I also made Trismegistus in the paper moon you were manhandling just a few minutes ago. So I'm here to collect damages you owe me for copyright infringement. It totals to about $790 million. So... yeah, you guys are boned. Whatever human rights you think you had are gone. Do you know what this means, Ritsuka? It means I own you. Lock, stock, and barrel, baby. Okay. So mind just signing this contract here for me? How about no? I hereby confess to using Miss Shion's intellectual property without express permission. I also absolutely saw the end of humanity and such. Therefore, until repayment of said aforementioned unrepayable debt, I, Ritsuka, do hereby offer up the following. My body, my soul, and each and every one of my worldly possessions, past, present, and future, throughout the universe to Shion. There you go. Mine just signing here, and here. Initial there, too. Say, mine being modded? Modded how? Are you into mecha? Bioengineering? A mixture of both? Ah, what the heck. We can just throw them all in. Don't worry, it won't hurt at all. Mate. Mateo. What? Just kidding, you don't owe me anything. I was only messing with you. Okay. Okay, so it's okay. Oh. Besides, I was using old Zimbabwean dollar value. Oh. Okay, so I was like, what, maybe $7.90 USD? You totally could have paid it back anyway. Fofo. Sorry, I might have gotten a little carried away there. You'll have to forgive me. I've never actually done this before. What, interacted with people? I know I sort of struck first, so to speak, when I contacted you earlier. So I was being all formal to try and put you at ease. But as you can see, I'm not really like that. Just your everyday, mild-mannered alchemist here. That makes sense. You spoke so fast I didn't realize it right away. But there's no way anyone from the Atlas Institute would be so quick to pull out a contract. I see an advanced technique designed to better break the ice during our first encounter. I get the feeling she's not one for lying. Alright, let me introduce myself again. My name is Shio, and welcome to the Wandering Sea, Chaldeans. Leonardo da Vinci, Mashkirielite, Ritsuka, and... Foe. I did not see that animal mentioned in any of our data. I wonder if he's someone familiar. I can sense some modicum of intelligence from it, like an AI that just started learning. I feel like that implies he'll be back to... I wonder if we'll see the power of Beast 3? He was 3, right? Again at some point. Because if he's back to being able to learn, who knows? 4. God damn it, 4. Right, because foe, yeah, right, yeah, 4. Foe war. Foe war. Right. Oh, well, no problem. I already have a pretty good idea of who you guys are. I have not seen what's become of the outside world myself, but I do know what happened to Chaldea on the first day of 2020. You haven't seen the outside? Does that mean you have no immunity to the atmosphere? Oh no, I'm completely healthy. You have to be in good shape to use memory partition at a halfway decent level, after all. That just meant I didn't have a need to go outside. Sorry for the misunderstanding, Mash. I think Mash is the only one who had the misunderstanding, to be honest. So, who's in charge right now? Well, I mean, technically. From what information I have, it should be Da Vinci here, but given she has the whole kid thing going on, I assume that's no longer the case. I must have a gap in my information somewhere. Better get that sorted. I'm impressed you picked up on that. You look like a girl, and it would seem that you are in fact something of a girl. Okay. Indeed, the master/amateur mage, the demi-servant girl, and the capable technical advisor are merely my subordinates. Who am I? Why, you surely need not ask. I'm Chaldea's new director and a man who will one day resurrect the golden age of the prestigious music estate, Gordolf Music. I see you're surprised that I'm still alive. I know that crest and that uniform. It would seem you truly are a mage of the Atlas Institute. That means it should have been absolutely trivial for you to predict the terrible tragedy that befell my Chaldea with your fancy parallel thought acceleration. I'm keenly aware of how I fell for Koyonsuga's devious scheme, and so inadvertently allowed the Cryptors to carry out their plan. No doubt I was the first one to be killed off in Atlas's prognostications. The quickest way to ensure a plan's success is to take out your opposition's genius commander, after all. Right. But as you can see, I survived. For no matter how poor the road conditions, how dire the weather, or how far behind I may be, I will never retire before the race is over. My goat! You're Gordolf, right? I'm not surprised you're still alive, given your specs. Huh? You're not? Your odds weren't great, but they also weren't 0. I figured you'd make it out of there as long as you had solid help and backup. No, it was the servant behind you that surprised me. Would you mind telling me your name? Yes, I do beg your pardon. I was preoccupied with keeping your new director safe since he insisted on venturing out to see what was going on for himself. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a ruler. As you're the successor of the Great Atlas Institute, I trust that's all the introduction you need. Wait, you already know who I am? Even for a famed detective, it seems just a little suspicious that you already know that much about me. Elementary My dear Miss Shion, your middle name, Eltnum, tells me all I need to know. From there, all I need to do is contrast your behavior with our current situation, and the answer all but presents itself. BS, you're just quoting from her file. You touched Triarmes when you snuck into Alice. Now, don't go giving the game away, Miss Ritsuka! My bad. You touched Triarmes? Now I see. This must have been during the 6th singularity. Yeah. I read about that in the report to the Mages Association. So, you managed to touch Trihermes directly without losing your mind, huh? Well, you can't have a mind to lose if you've already lost it. So, I mean... You know. Really now. No wonder you're the pinnacle of intelligence among servants. You and I are going to get along just fine. Oh, hey, Nemo! Wait, Nemo? What? Okay. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be terribly surprised. This place is full of Age of Gods mystics. I imagine they probably have a holy grail here somewhere. To be able to summon, or just some mechanism to summon servants. So I guess it shouldn't be that surprising? Come on, Shion, how much time are you going to waste talking? You want me to give this ship a tune-up, right? Hurry up and get the crew off it already. Stare. 'Tis just a boy. What, do I have something on my face? You're kind of rude, aren't you? Oh, right, sorry about that. You don't have to apologize. I already know humans are rude. Oh, it's in your nature. All that magical energy, are you a servant? Does this mean the Wandering Sea is also capable of summoning servants? Yeah, it's like a peek at Chaldea's system came up with my own take on you did! And somehow managed to summon a single servant. I needed someone who could watch my back, and also make sure I wouldn't break it. I mean, I could draw up blueprints all day on my own, but what good is that if nobody actually builds any of it, right? I'm still amazed that you managed to summon a heroic spirit somewhere besides Chaldea. Hello there, servant from the Wandering Sea. My name is Mash Kirilite. May I ask who you are? You don't have to tell me your true name. I'm no one. I don't have a name. If you have to call me something, just call me nameless. Right. Okay, sure. Now get everyone out of here, Shion. I can't call everyone, else with all these people in the way. This is painful to look at. It's worse than watching coral reefs die. What happened to the ship? I can hear it crying in pain. Well, it got beat up by an uber-powerful servant. Or a giant, really, in a servant's body. Then it got thrown into water when it's not really built for water. So... You know... I can hear it crying in pain. I have to fix it now before I go insane. Whoops, looks like someone's got up on the wrong side of the bed today. Huh, Captain? Oh well, guess I'm unable to blame you, since you are even shyer than me. Captain? Is that some sort of joke? Are you mocking me? Well, what else can we call you? Would you prefer Prince? Fine, I guess Captain works, since we have more guests now. At least it's better than Prince. Alright. It would seem you added something to that servant's spirit origin. Am I correct, Miss Shion? Yeah, phantom spirit. Oh! One cannot summon a decent heroic spirit without Mash's shield, you understand? Okay. Since I was missing powerful holy relics like that, I had to make do with whatever I could scrounge together to make his spirit origin. But don't ask me to reveal his true name. That's something a servant should choose to do. Okay, that's fair. Once Captain trusts you guys, I'm certain his identity will become clear. Cute fofo. Anyway, right now it's just me and Captain here. I promise there's nobody else around, so feel free to bring the rest of the Shadowborders crew along. I've prepared a room for the staff where they can relax and rest up, but I'm afraid I'll have to ask all of you to join me for a little longer. I can imagine how exhausted you must be and would love to sleep in a proper bed, but that must wait. This is just the entrance, see? Come on, I'll take you to the command room. Command room, you say? Oh. Alright. Well, here's... the command room I've already seen via events. But... good to finally be here in proper timeline-wise. Whoa. Oh. It's... Chaldea's command room? Yeah, I see how you could make that mistake, Ritsuka, but a mistake it would be. Chaldea's command room was actually modeled after this place. This is the masterpiece I've been assembling day and night for the last 3 months, ever since I first came to the Wandering Sea. I call it Spiritron Calculation Engine Trismegistus 2. Alright, sorry. A perfect reproduction of the Trismegistus I lent to Chaldea and the new brains of your operation. You don't say. You said you've been assembling it. So that must mean you brought the necessary materials along with you when you came here. Between the paper moon and all this groundwork you've been laying, you're obviously no ordinary mage. Shion Eltnum Sakaris. Looks to me like you even know more about Chaldea than we do. Maybe she does. Yeah, a lot of what I know comes before Chaldea really even got off the ground. As you know, the Pseudo-Spiritron Calculation Engine Trihermes is the heart of the Atlas Institute. My father, the head of Atlas at the time, was supposed to create Trihermes' sister unit, Trismegistus, before its development was handed off to me. I proposed using Paper Moon-based zero sales as a method for sending people into the past. Well, into singularities, anyway. But Chaldea's first director, Marsbury, had a different idea for a more reliable method. His proposal was a process he called ray shifting that involved transmitting physical bodies as spiritrons. It was a more proactive approach, given that it was closer to the Atlas Institute's prognostication. Not exactly the most cautious proposal, all told, but the fact that a mage like him was willing to reveal his most secret arts, like that, spoke volumes. I mean, if word had gotten out that the Animosphere family, one of the 12 Clock Tower Lords, was sharing technology with Atlas, and be in trouble, it would have meant war with the other Lords, leading ultimately to the end of the Animospheres. Director Marsbury understood the seriousness of the risks and chose to act anyway. So the Atlas Institute decided to accept Chaldea's request, out of respect for the risks he took. Of course, none of the other lords ever did figure out what Marsbury was up to, so it ended up not really being a thing. Anyway, you all know what happened next. Yeah. We provided Chaldea with Trismegistus, which enabled Chaldea to complete Chaldeus. Yeah. And the Chaldea Security Organization went on to do what it was intended to do. Fix singularities and save the world. I'm certain you all know more about Chaldea's actual exploits than I do. We were just the ones who gave you the tools to get things rolling. Indeed, we do know about Chaldea's connection to the Atlas Institute. We do not, however, know about you. How did you survive the reset of the world? And why were you waiting for us here in the Wandering Sea? Took the words right out of my mouth, there, Holmes. You have a thing for asking questions you already know the answers to, huh, Sherlock? Are you obliged to? Will you die otherwise? Maybe he will. I suppose, since you're being so meticulous and all, I can go ahead and tell you what you already know. Answer the first. I escaped the reset because I was in the Wandering Sea. The Wandering Sea is like its own little singularity. It's always drifting between the world's textures. That kept it safe even while the world was being wiped clean. Answer the second. I came to the Wandering Sea because I predicted this future. Hermes collects, organizes, and makes records of a ton of data about Earth, just like Chaldeus. It's like a huge sea of information, all there for the taking. For alchemists like us, it might as well be our own primordial soup. I was just taking a little dip in that sea, without my father knowing, of course, when I ended up arriving at that prediction. In short, I wasn't sure how, but I knew the world would cease to exist in 2020. It was the biggest dilemma of my life, to say the least. I knew I had to do something, so I told my father about my prediction. But that Theodore reject excuse for a great head of Atlas told me was... I see humanity ending every day. Don't waste my time with trivialities like this. Besides, you discovered this problem, my darling Shion. Don't you think you should be the one to solve it? What a great dad. And that was when it really hit me just how understaffed the Atlas Institute really was. Every person had their hands full stopping some version of the world of the end of the world that they had seen. Well, I'm at it, and have a little bonus. Oh! Answer the third. The moment I made my decision. I know. I'll go to the Wandering Sea. So I took the parts I was using to make Trismegistus 2 and used them to build a Hermes instead, then knocked on the Wandering Sea's front door. By doing so, I secured a safe haven for both myself and future collaborators. 2 birds, 1 stone. I was certain that no matter how things unfolded, Chaldea was going to get knocked out of commission. It would be too important for an unknown invader. Being an Atlas mage doesn't sound good for one's mental health. Yeah, but no, definitely not. There are pretty much 2 ways the world can end. Gradually and suddenly. Usually things would go gradually, progressing in stages until the lights go out, so to speak. There are leaders all around the world doing their best to identify those scenarios and keep them at bay. Meanwhile, the sudden types are more like traffic accidents, where everything happens all at once, nothing much one can do, no matter how smart. For that sort of thing, ray shifting was all we had to fight back. And what is happening right now, with the world bleached white thanks to invaders from outer space, is no exception. Thus, anyone meticulous enough to put together a plan like this would never overlook Chaldea, seeing as you were the only ones capable of ray shifting. I certainly wouldn't. If I were trying to destroy Earth, Chaldea would be right at the top of my hit list. In fact, taking it out would be my opening move. Sorry, I should have kept that to myself. Yeah, maybe. So even though I had a base to fight back from, there still wasn't anything I could do on my own. I mean, I didn't know who was attacking or how they would do it. So really the only thing I could do was put my trust in you guys. If these invader things saw you as that big of a threat, I was sure you could prove there was a reason for that. I knew you'd survive and you would not give up, no matter how bad things got. So, knowing that you would fight back, my task got a lot simpler. I would make you a new base. I would create a second Chaldea for you and keep it ready and waiting. That was really the only answer I could come up with at the time. And now, even though you had no idea about any of this, you made it here. And that's all I have. Thanks for listening! So you really believed in us. Something like that. Oh, stop, you're gonna make me blush. But thanks, Shion. This is probably where the last version of me would say you should have actually gotten in contact with us ahead of time, but... Are you crazy? I'm far too too shy to prevent the world being reset. Or at least give us a little bit of forewarning to help us prepare and maybe get things ready to help us fight back better. But you're too shy. Okay, right. Okay, sure. Besides, if you tell people their future, you end up changing that future and having to come up with a whole new plan from scratch. Yeah. Exactly. It would have taken time to recalculate, and we almost certainly did not have any to spare. So I decided that this is the best course of action. Okay, that makes sense, but that still doesn't explain some things. Like, why are there no other mages from the Wandering Sea here? They avoided the big reset just like you did, right? So why is it just you and Captain now? Oh, they didn't think this blank Earth thing was their problem. Just as my father didn't. Oh. No, if anything, they were even worse. They honestly did not care if post-AD humanity lived or died. Oh. Oh, that's great. Right when this whole bleaching thing started and the cryptors were giving their victory speech, they said, "You're the ones who should do something about this cataclysm. We no longer care what happens to human civilization. We do understand the attackers' ideals, but regardless, we don't share them." Then they just up and left. Just left. Oh, but before they did, they also said, "You may invite the mages of Chaldea here if you wish. Feel free to use the Wandering Sea, but only in specified areas. But take care not to enter our workshop. We can't promise you'll survive the experience, oh." Anyway, this place used to be the Wandering Sea's entrance, so it connects to a workshop devoted to bringing back several different ages of gods. Not that that does us much good now, though, since it has that giant stone gate blocking it. I see. So the Wandering Sea's most prominent figures saw no value in post-AD humanity. No matter. The Wandering Sea's magecraft is magecraft from the Age of Gods. There's no telling how powerful it is. We must find some way to open that stone gate and get them to help us. Mr. Gordolf? Don't be ridiculous, Holmes. You shouldn't even be looking at that gate, let alone touching it. Oh god, it's as if that Academy principal is waiting for me just behind this gate. How could this be happening? That single gate feels as though it could shatter several lords at once. I don't know what he's on about, but he's clearly more terrified than I've ever seen him. Excuse me. So it may be best if we leave that gate alone. The last thing we need right now is... Oh god. Maybe best if we leave that gate alone. Last thing we need right now is making more enemies. The first order of business is to get the Shadow Border repaired. As long as we have a working ship, we can leave the Wandering Sea behind whenever we want. I appreciate the offer, Shion, but I'll handle the border's repairs myself. We don't want to impose on... Is he already done? Nay, Da Vinci... I'm sorry, I tried to hide in the border like you told me to, but they still managed to find me. So much for a last bit of insurance. How'd you screw up this time, Mounier? How could they have found that room when I'm the only one who knew it even existed? Well, a bunch of them got in the border and they were really cute. Also, before I knew it, I was going over to say hello. Uh-huh. Mounier. Wait, no, it's not like that. See, I couldn't have them fiddling with the border and messing things up. Uh-huh. So I decided to give them a piece of my mind. Ahaha. Right. Sorry, you'll have to forgive Captain. Fixing up his ships is kind of his thing. Anyway, why not hold off on those repairs until later, Da Vinci? After all, there is something else we need to do. Something else? That's right, what you need is a new base and new rooms. So that's what we're going to make right now. Your new Chaldea base. Yay! Sounds good. Love that.
Master, コマンドカードの強化は行っています。小さなことからコツコツと小さなことからコツコツとですね。
Oh wait, whoops. Hang on.
いちごにマシュマロ。
Got one more to collect.
新生ダヴィンチちゃんの素敵な工房によ。マスター。
Yeah. Intro 3 or 3-3. Our rooms better have the finest silken pillows, covers, and sheets. If not, I don't want them. I want, honestly, I don't have much for wants, as long as you have a place to sleep. We're back with the council of douchebags. I'm afraid so. Scotty has been defeated and her tree of emptiness is gone, taking the Scandinavian lost belt with it. Tragically, Ophelia didn't make it either. Sniff, sniff. How many of them care? Spare us the performance, Koyanskia. It makes me detest you even more than Chaldea. Oh my, you saw right through me. How embarrassing. And here I was going above and beyond to pay my respects to a fallen comrade by turning on a waterworks to go with a lip service. After all, Ophelia was one of my most important clients. That jewel-rank mystic eye of hers was a real beauty. Completely wasted on her, though. A textbook example of how one can have too much of a good thing. If she'd only agreed to let me have that eye before it got ruined, I would have done everything in my power to help her stay alive. I see. Well then I suppose it wasn't a total loss. Just the thought alone of you in possession of that eye is enough to turn my stomach. My Akuta, I'm surprised to see you grieving over Ophelia's death, given what a misanthrope you are. Is this one of those you don't know what you've got till it's gone things, or were you always secretly fond of her? Not that it's any comfort to her either way. See, the thing about friendships between girls is, they're all about supporting each other, just as long as there's also something in it for them. Doesn't matter how much she might have disliked me, I was at least there for her, once in a while. I actually tried to help her with her problems, but all you did was sit back and watch. So why did you get off suddenly acting like she was so precious to you? You didn't do anything, so you don't get to say anything. Isn't that common sense in human society? I mean, she's kinda spitting, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe you wouldn't have forgotten that if you hadn't shut yourself away all this time. How dare you talk to me like that, you dirty little fox. Alright, that's enough, girls. Save it for after we've all been wiped out, okay? Come on, Akita, honey. You've worked so hard to keep your face as emotionless as possible. Don't let all that effort go to waste. I'm surprised to hear you being so straightforward too, Koyanskia. You usually play your cards much closer to your chest. I guess it just goes to show how much Ophelia's death really hurt the two of you. Oh, wonderful. I love seeing the men trying to act all cool and stoic, pretending like it doesn't bother them. Look at us, sharing our thoughts and feelings with the dearly departed. It's almost like a real funeral. Stop that. I don't have any words of condolence for her. I only came here to report on my lost belt. I've done that, so I'll be leaving now. Pepe, Kostaria, just to be clear, I want nothing at all to do with that foxwoman. She's not good for anything but toppling nations. Don't you dare send her to my lost belt. Not even by accident. What's his lordship gonna say about that? Damn, she really did just up and leave. Whatever happened to teamwork, huh? You sure about this, Wodheim? Koyansky is not the only reason Akita was pissed. She's furious at the loss of Russia and Scandinavia. If Koyansky had given her an easier target, she'd probably have taken her rage out on me. I can almost hear her berating me for being useless, and she'd have every right to. You know, now you mention it, I think somebody ought to. Why not me? I mean, sure, it's great you made it back here alive after Russia got taken out and all. You're one of us. But here's the question. Why are you still alive, Caddick? I don't know. Ask Wodheim and the priest. It was your servant who wrecked Chaldea, right? They ought to hate you more than any of us. And here you are, without even a scratch? How the hell does that work? Are they seriously that freaking stupid? Or maybe you're thinking about changing sides. I don't think he was. Probably. Huh. It's kind of a relief to see you're still a complete asshole, Beryl. If I'd really gone over to Chaldea, I'd still be stuck in the border trying to choke down that nasty prison slop they serve about now. Trust me, they don't have enough resources to keep anyone non-essential around. I'm just a pathetic loser who managed to escape death thanks to sheer dumb luck. At least for now. I see, a loser, huh? Beryl? I'm just busting your balls, Caddick. All I really care about is that you're still alive. Right, sure. Sure, Sure you do. Gotta say though, it's a real shame you and Ophelia had such shitty luck. Then again, maybe it wasn't that so much as Chaldea had good luck. They're certainly not getting by on actual skill. We'll see. We'll show you skill. Don't you worry, we'll get to you. I really can't get my head around their idiot master still being alive. How the hell does a third-rate amateur like that keep walking away unscathed? Hee, she's gotta either be incredibly lucky, or just getting carried. I've heard of flattery getting you everywhere, but this is nuts. Well, don't forget that her defenses are perfect. Mash is her servant after all. It only makes sense that the shielder would ensure her master is protected. Well. So Mash has been keeping her safe, huh? Now I'm even more jealous. Imagine getting to play hero while hiding behind a piece of ass like that! I mean, she does have a quite shapely behind. I'll give him that. As the intro to, I think it was Camelot's intro, really accentuate. No, it was the in-game intro. So I was like, what the booty. Like when when also yeah. If we take Koyonsuke's report at face value, then I have no choice but to agree. David, what do you think of the Master of Chaldea? Good question. It's hard to believe she's made it this far. As a rule, people going off to war must bring a proven weapon. This isn't something they do to protect themselves or even to accomplish a mission. And they simply do it because they're incapable of moving forward without the assurance that they're able to fight. And yet the Master of Chaldea continues to fight, while fully aware she has no weapon to call her own. She either has no sense of danger whatsoever, or nothing. There's no other possible explanation. She's a total joke of a mage. Hell, she doesn't even really deserve to be called a mage. The only thing she can do is rely on Chaldea's mystic codes to convert her life energy into magical energy for her servants. And since there's no way to do that over a distance, she has to be as close as possible to her servants to manage even that much. She has no way of defending herself, and she's too stupid to command her servants from a safe zone like we can. So she's only got one choice. And that's standing on the front lines like a goddamn moron. And trust me, she's trying like hell to keep from pissing herself the whole time. I mean, it's admirable in a sense. Koyonsugia, let me make sure I have everything straight. You said that Chaldea didn't defeat Ophelia, but rather that she sacrificed her life of her own accord. You also say that in order to stop Serta, the fiery king of giants, the one hiding in the Scandinavian Lost Belt, before he could trigger Ragnarok, she used her serious light and acted not as a cryptor, but simply as Ophelia. Exactly, Lord Krishtaria. She abandoned her responsibilities as a cryptor. Damn, seriously? What a twist. Guess that means your ass got dumped, Wodime. Man, she was so into you too. See, this is why I can't stand chicks. You just can't trust them. I confess I'm disappointed. An overestimation of her abilities. Scandinavia was a peaceful lost belt after all. That she could not control even such a place. I think you're not fully comprehending what happened there. Oh, that reminds me, Krishtaria. I actually have a little question of my own. You knew about Serta all along, right? And yet you still entrusted Scandinavia to Ophelia. In fact, weren't you the one who told her to keep Serta around? If so, something doesn't quite add up. Serta was the natural enemy of the Scandinavian Lost Belt, you know. Does that mean you left him there specifically so he would destroy it? Is that what the foreign god asked you to do? Yes, I did advise Ophelia to keep Serta around. Given Skadi's nature, I thought it to be possible that she may sympathize with Chaldea. I suggested she keep Serta around as a sort of insurance against that eventuality. Sadly, it seems even that was too much of a burden on her. I thought it would have turned out better. Seems like a... I can't tell if Wodime is actually all that impressive, or if he's more hyped up than he should be. Because, I mean, he did technically save the world like 7 times to give all the other cryptors chances at life, right? That was the whole thing, is he had to save the world in like a simulated sense for each one of them and himself. So like, he can't be weak, but maybe he really just did overvalue or overestimate Ophelia that much. Because you'd think even he would be iffy about keeping Serta around. But, I don't know. You always knew what a weakling she was, even as you kept telling her how much you trusted her. You're a devious one, aren't you, Lord Kushtaria? In that case, I'm happy to forget the whole thing ever happened. I'll make sure not to mention this to the foreign god. Or the other alter egos, of course. I appreciate your faith in me, Koyanskia. Though I always find it worrying whenever you add in bonuses like that. Koyanskia. You said you lost track of Chaldea around the North Sea. I suppose they could have escaped with a zero sail, but given their lack of resources, and I can't imagine they'd be willing to do so for long. In which case, must have reached the Wandering Sea. How troublesome. That was the one place the foreign god couldn't touch, or the place the foreign god felt no need to bother with at any rate. And since the mages of the Wandering Sea have no interest in the future of modern mankind, we assumed they wouldn't interfere with our plans. But perhaps our decision to ignore them was a mistake. Huh? Not even the foreign god could do anything about them? Evidently not, since they clearly avoided being erased. The Wandering Sea is an island unto itself, both part of and separate from the rest of the world. You can't take an eraser to something that already doesn't exist. Anyway, this puts us in a pretty pickle. I have no idea how we'd find them now. How about you, Koyanskia? You can travel between lost spots at will. Can you track them down? I'm afraid not. I may possess an independent manifestation, but I can't sneak into the Wandering Sea without knowing exactly where it is. That makes sense. Then I guess we'll just have to forget about Chaldea for now. Focus on our own lost belts and... Not happening, Pepperoncino. Between Katic and Ophelia, they've already taken out 2 of us. Can't ignore this Chaldean remnant any longer. We need to crush them, quickly. Right, Woodheim? No reason to keep eyesores like them alive any longer than we have to, is there? Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're siding with Pepe on this. Are you going to let them get away with this? And then again, I guess you're already pretty much set, aren't you? No one could ever hope to cross that sea of yours, after all. All you gotta worry about's which bottle of champagne you're gonna open after you win by default. But for us mere commoners, this is a matter of life and death. Isn't that right, David? How am I supposed to enjoy my manhunts when I know Chaldea could stab me in the back at any time? Come on, Koyanskia, this is your jurisdiction here. I mean, there's 3 of you alter egos. Can't you figure out a way to take care of them? As part of your job, oh great disciples of the foreign god? Let me think. Rasputin's team is out fighting a group of proper human history servants in the Grecian seas right now. And I don't know what it is that creepy Onmyoji loves about India so much, but he refuses to budge from there, so... I guess I have to handle this one myself, even though it's not in my contract. So you want me to get rid of those pesky Chaldeans for you? Oh, alright. Just like that, huh? Can you really pull it off? I mean, I thought you just said you couldn't sneak into the Wandering Sea. Oh, don't worry about that. We pros have our ways. That said, eliminating all of them is going to be one expensive job. I doubt you could afford it. So I trust you won't mind if I take a more cost-effective measure. Oh, what'd you have in mind? The important thing is to neutralize the threat Chaldea poses, right? Won't be a problem. They only have one master to spare, after all. So you just sit tight while I go assassinate her. Before anyone even notices them. Notices them there. Well, obviously that's not gonna happen, right? No way she could get her hands on us. Probably. Hopefully. It looks like Koyansuke has warped away again. Do you really think she went to the Wandering Sea? Considering that neither the foreign god nor the disciples have been able to locate it, I have difficulty imagining even Koyansuke will be able to infiltrate it anytime soon. Though, knowing her as I do, I expect she must have some sort of plan to reach her destination. Shit, she can actually warp to the Wandering Sea? And I was just screwing with her. Guess it really does never hurt to ask. But also, we're gonna get that kind of warping juju, 'cause hot damn. Anyway, I know she'll make good in her word. I also like her going, her pick of going the assassination route. I guess I better make sure I stay on her good side from now on. And that way I know I'll have a ticket out of my lost belt if everything goes to shit. Why so pessimistic, Barrow? Is your lost belt really that horrid? Yeah. Let's just say it's all going to plan. Right, Wodime? Oops, I've said too much. Time to go. Later, Caddick. You enjoy that Greek nightlife since you've got nothing to do but live it up. Oh, and save me a few drinks. If I screw up too, we can have a loser's night out on the town. I don't think he wants to go anywhere with you, to be honest. As if he wasn't treating me like a traitor just a few minutes ago. The worst part is, he meant it. Whatever. This meeting's done, so I'm heading out too. Besides, I only just got to this Greek lost belt. You said there's a few different, Poles here? Right? I'm gonna go check them out while I heal up. And then there were 3. Teehee. I'm glad to see Caddick doing so well. He's still as angsty as ever, of course, but he's so much more brazen now than he used to be. It's so wonderful. Anyway, I think he'll be going now too. Kishtaria, David. This may not be my place to ask, but aren't you two at all sad about Ophelia's death? Now, good question. I can't say I've spent much time giving Ophelia any real thought from the beginning. But for what it's worth, I do feel her loss. I see. Looks like I'll be the only one bringing flowers to her figurative grave then. But that's okay. Flowers are the one thing my lost world has plenty of. It might not line up with her beliefs, but I can still hold my own little funeral for her. He's gonna be the cryptor of LB3, isn't he? Fairy Britain. Must be. Because I doubt this Sin Lost Belt's gonna be very flowerful. And obviously we know Wodime is in charge of Greece. Yeah, he must be in charge of Britain. I'll be sure to add some flowers for you too, Kishtaria. Since I've not seen you so much as smile once, since you sat in that chair. What say you, Wodime? Now that you're alone. Your indefatigable positivity never ceases to impress me, Pepe. I'm lucky to have you around. But you needn't concern yourself with me. Losing the Scandinavian lost belt's no more than a minor setback. That we no longer have Sato as a failsafe if things take a turn for the worse was a strategic loss, however. Still, if there's anything I regret... Ophelia. We only knew each other for a few years, but I knew you were a kind and gentle woman at heart. Did you see me as some sort of great figure? I will strive to live up to that. Okay. So he didn't... Okay, so he actually did kinda... care. I'll end proper human history in order to write a new one, and build new truth in its wake. You may try to resist members of Chaldea, but in the end it is we cryptors who will prevail. Maybe I was being a little too judgmental of him.
コマンドカードの強化は行っていますか?
Maybe.
慣れた頃ほど油断しやすいもの。
We'll see. Ensure 3-4. Oh, goddamn. Do we actually get to the lost belt in this one? Hope so. Been nothing but yapping. 2 weeks after docking at the Wandering Sea. 2 weeks? Hi. Hi? Hi? Hi. Hello. The sailors. As you can see, I did my best to recreate Chaldea right here in the Wandering Sea. Pretty good job. I call it the Wandering Sea Chaldea base. Go on, everyone. I believe a round of applause is in order. This is amazing, Senpai. I can't believe Shion and Captain built all this in just 2 weeks. Indeed, this is quite a contribution to our cause. But then I suppose this is what the Alice Institute's brightest can do. I say, you there. You didn't forget about my director's office, did you? The one I ordered with a private bathroom? Wait. You're the director? Yes, that's right. I'm the captain of this ship, so to speak. Sure. I asked for 3 things. A gorgeous director's office, a stylish operations room, and a German-style kitchen. This command room should suffice for me for operations, and I already verified that the kitchen's up to snuff, but I haven't seen my new director's office anywhere. I presume you took my importance and safety into consideration, and made it a secure hidden room. That sort of initiative goes a long way with me. You'll have a lot to look forward to when it comes to your starting salary, now that you're in my employ. Right. Crap, I used an empty warehouse for that. I see. So you used an empty warehouse for my office entrance, huh? I commend you for arranging such an elaborate disguise. Right. But I must say, passing through a warehouse whenever I enter or leave my room sounds like a bother. Tell me, Captain, how would you feel if that were your quarters? Alright, you've convinced me. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Shion, I'm heading out on another job. I have to make sure everything's perfect. I'm surprised he took that so easily. I guess our first servant summoning with Chaldea's spirit origin graph will have to wait then. Ahem. Ritsuga, Mash, Sir Goodolf, staff members. Yes. And of course the 2 servants, Da Vinci and Sir Holmes. Let me first congratulate you on a job well done with all you've accomplished these past 2 weeks. What have we been doing? As you saw when you first got here, the Wandering Sea is not exactly the most accommodating place. No, not really. But that all changes today. From now on, you'll each have your own private rooms. No more sharing one big communal space. Yeah, we also have a cafeteria now, which should be serving proper food starting tomorrow. I've been living on supplements and artificial blood for a long time now. So building a cafeteria was a novel experience for me. Artificial. Now then. I think it's time for the first Chaldea Atlas joint strategy meeting. Oh, but first, do you know what the Atlas Institute is, or would you like a refresher? I'm good, thanks. May I say something before we begin deliberations, Miss Shion? Apart from the fact that you're a survivor of the Atlas Institute, we still know very little about you. For example, what's your motive here? Why are you helping us? To bring back humanity? Why? I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, when you're faced with a problem, you work to solve it, right? And as far as this particular problem goes, you people of Chaldea are essential to the solution. I thought that was why we decided to join forces and become friends. Wait, does this mean I was the only one who thought that? Huh. Of course we're friends. Yeah. We are? Great. Then we can get down to business. My apologies. I let my cautious nature get the better of me. I should have remembered that the Atlas alchemists are not motivated by personal gain. Their sole desire has always been solving problems. I do beg your pardon, Miss Shion. Please rest assured that I'm delighted to have gained such a capable ally. Right then, shall we get down to business? Sure. I went ahead and skimmed through your logs from the day Chaldea was attacked until you ended up here. December 31st, 2019, Chaldea is attacked and frozen solid. And that same day, 7 pillars of light are seen streaking down from space, and Krishtaria Wodime broadcasts his victory speech. Krishtaria used to be a master from Team A, the linchpin of Chaldea's Rayshift experiment. But now he refers to the new group he belongs to as the Cryptors. Even though that's the name... Wasn't it said that Marsberry gave them that name? Given that Team A was found to be missing during the operation to unfreeze them before Chaldea was attacked, we can assume that the Cryptors Krishtaria refers to are the other Team A members, yes. As for all of you, you undertook a zero sale in the Shadow Border in order to escape the opportunity. Although you only spent a week inside... Speaking of, I do need to upload Moonlight Lost Room soon. It's like... pretty... yeah. Yeah. But now it's at the point where, like, I don't want to upload it. Because even though I have a disclaimer in the top left of the video, or throughout the entire video, that I recorded it before I started LB2, or, sorry, before I started part 2 of FGO. So, you know, before the part 2 prologue. I feel like someone's gonna be like, you're already into part 2, why are you acting surprised about so-and-so? And I'm like, it makes me nervous to upload it. But the longer I wait to upload it, the... yeah. I need to do that. Although you only spent a week inside Void Space, 3 months had passed when you emerged into Standard Space. Yes. To do so, the Border had to rely on your sole connection to Standard Space at the time, the Opportunity. This led you to the Russian Lost Belt, a frigid alternate history inhabited by the Yaga. Yeah, giant fucking mammoth. Ivan, there we go. As you attempt to gather more information about your situation, you ended up facing off with Ivan the Terrible, the king of the Russian Lost Belt. Ugh. You then managed to cut down Orochi, the Tree of Emptiness, that had taken root there. I'm still working on what these trees actually are. But based on the data about its internal gravitational field recorded during the battle, I think we can make an educated guess. Once the tree was cut down, the storm it had been generating disappeared, and you were finally able to pick up my broadcast from the Wandering Sea. From there, you decided to make a beeline for the North Sea, and ran to Scandinavia. But on the way, you ran into another obstacle. The Scandinavian Lost Belt, a history stuck in perpetual twilight after Ragnarok went awry. When I first saw you had lost the Paper Moon, I might have maybe screamed a little bit, and it was very unbecoming of an Eltnum, so you can imagine my relief when I found out you recovered it. You then went on to face Skahaskadi, the king of the Scandinavian Lost Belt, and were able to cut down its Tree of Emptiness, Sombrero. An impressive track record. After that, a battered and damaged Shadow Border finally arrived at North Sea and made its way inside the Wandering Sea. Yes, that about sums it up, yeah. And now here we are. Did I get all that right? Do you have logs other than the ones on the border? Now that I think of it. Alright, back when Senpai and I stopped by some ruins you found along the way. Huh? You found a survivor's journal? You failed to mention it for 2 weeks? Yeah, that's not bad. Let me see that. Yoink, yoink. So there were some people lucky, or maybe unlucky enough to escape the bleaching. It also says the attack lasted for 3 months. Although... What's up, is there a problem? No, not a problem exactly. It's just odd that whoever wrote this decided to record it on paper. Well, of course they did, young Shion. There was no electricity out there. These ruins were no more than a few shattered buildings. There was no generator anywhere in sight. Exactly, that's why it's so odd that these letters weren't written in ink or pencil. What were they written in then? It's as though they were burned into the paper or something like paper. Does this mean there was some kind of power plant out there after all? Or whoever it was is a mage? Well, we can work on that later, once we have more information. So you've been inside 2 of the Lost Belts now and experienced the differences from proper human history for yourselves. These Lost Belts are dead-end timelines that were pruned away by human history itself once they were deemed unworthy of being allowed to continue. For example, the Russian Lost Belt diverged from proper human history in the year AD 1570. And it seems that each Lost Belt to appear on Earth has continued from its point of historical divergence on to the present day. However, just because a Lost Belt may have diverged from further back in the past, does not necessarily mean it's stronger. Lost Belt's strength, or threat really, is not so much a matter of its age, but of how much it differs from proper human history. The Yaga may have been physically different from mankind, but their lifestyle and culture was still carried over from proper human history. By contrast, the people in Scandinavia may have led peaceful lives, but their society was essentially being kept on life support. Yeah, a lot of inbreeding. So, given what we know from those 2, I decided to come up with a metric we could use to rank and compare the Lost Belts. I call it their Lost Belt depth. The greater the Lost Belt depth, the more strongly it refutes proper human history. So, what was the depth of the 2 seen so far? I went ahead and assigned preliminary Lost Belt depth rankings for all 7 of the Lost Belts. Oh yeah, this makes it nice and clear. You Atlas Institute people really do work fast. As you can see, there are 3 Lost Belts in Europe, 2 in Asia, 1 in South America, and 1 in the middle of the Atlantic. That last lost spell is the only place on Earth that still has an ocean from before the world was reset. Wait, cut, scratch that. I forgot about the Wandering Sea. We still have oceans too, obviously. Never mind that, did you see the Atlantic? Yes. There can't possibly be a lost spell in the middle of the Atlantic. There's never been any inhabitants in the middle of the ocean in all of recorded history. Gordolf, buddy. I think you're forgetting about a certain, mystical city. One that... Actually, I wonder if we mentioned that in the records from the Third Singularity about how Drake said she fought a guy named Poseidon in the city of Atlantis. Surely that's a detail we wouldn't have left out of our reports, right? Right? Well, there are now. In fact, the Atlantic Lost Spell is our ultimate objective. That's the one spreading its tree of emptiness branches all throughout Earth's atmosphere. And I have good cause to believe it's where we'll find the Cryptor's leader, Kirstaria Wodime. An Atlantic Lost Belt, huh? In that case, there's only one place I can imagine it could be. Do you think it's really possible, Holmes? This sort of thing is your forte, isn't it? I can't speak with complete certainty, but if what you're thinking is correct, we'll certainly have our work cut out for us. For one thing, we have no means of getting there, as the border is simply incapable of making such a long sea voyage. But there is another more immediate difficulty. If there truly is a civilization in the Atlantic, it will be much, much older than any of the four great civilizations. It will have existed since prehistoric days, a robust, stable world that will have had over 12,000 years to develop. Come now, man, don't whimper at me now. If this lost spell is the greatest immediate threat to us, not to mention Wodime's home base, it is our duty to take the fight to him. The other lost spells can wait. We should be on our way to the Atlantic even as we speak. I recommend that course of action as well. Unlike Russia and Scandinavia, the storm walls bordering the lost belts in China and India are not expanding, so there should be no danger in leaving them be for a while. As for the lost belts in Britain and South America, Trismegistus just calculates an extremely high probability that they'll both self-destruct if left to their own devices. Oh. Okay. That's good. I've not been able to get a proper reading on the British Lost Belt's depth, but that's just another sign that it's a poor fit for this world. I've been unable to confirm what's going on in there, but compared to proper human history and the foundation of humanity, it's pretty clear that humanity in there is on the verge of collapse. So it's reasonable to assume that mankind in the British Lost Belt will go extinct within the span of months rather than years. Though I do wonder why the British Lost Belt's the only one surrounded by a wall of light rather than storms. Yeah, that should be concerning. We saw that on the border too, and came to the conclusion that it'd be best for us to stay away from the British Isles. Well, don't have much choice eventually. Last is the South American Lost Belt. While it appears to have a very high value to its Lost Belt depth, I cannot seem to get any clear information. So I can only conclude that its civilization is just about dead and gone. We'll see. And that in turn means that even among all these bizarre histories, it's exceptional. And thus, not one we need to concern ourselves with as far as fighting with the others for dominance. I'm guessing that's barrels, probably then. So in short, your next destination is the Atlantic. To that end, we'll be making some extensive modifications on the border. And by we, I mean Da Vinci, with me assisting. However, since it will take us at least a month to finish, I would like to invite the rest of you to enjoy a bit of rest and relaxation here in the meantime. Yeah, that sounds good. That goes double for you, Sir Gordolf and Ritsuka. Once we get our operation going, you two will be on the front lines, so you should take advantage of the rest while you can. You'll need to get all the rest you can before the final battle in the Atlantic. A sea voyage in the border, huh? Sounds fun. Huh. As the commander of this outfit, I hardly expect to be out on the front line. But you're right about me having been under considerable stress. Right, yeah. Alright. Indeed, now seems to be an excellent time to recuperate. I must say, I'd heard that every mage in the Alice Institute was a cranky old misanthrope, but you've turned out to be a most considerate young lady. It would be the height of rudeness to turn down such a kind offer. Now then, I think I'll begin with a nice hot shower in my wonderful new office. Haha, things are finally looking up for old Gordolf. We'll have the world saved in no time. Why don't you go rest up too, Senpai? I know I can't wait to see what our new rooms are like. I hope they're just like the ones at Chaldea. Probably. Oh. Foe. Just slowly follows along. Man, I'm kinda jealous. But if anyone deserves some free time, it's those two. Anyway, how about us, Shion? Are we going to keep going with the meeting? I should warn you, even you might have a hard time modifying the border. Good point. Your designs appear to all be similar to magecrafts from the Middle Ages, while mine are based on cutting-edge alchemy. We could well end up having incompatible design philosophies. But never mind that. Truthfully, I'm much more interested in that exoskeleton. I think you called it the Orton-Axe. Mash's own spirit origin tuning is perfect, but the Orton-Axe still has a long way to go. I imagine it's pretty difficult for Mash to fight in that. Am I wrong? Oh yeah? I had to build a lot of the Orton-Axe from spare parts for the border that I just had lying around, so of course it's not perfect. So what do you want to mess with? You know there's no way to restore her old defensive power, right? Of course, we couldn't possibly recreate Galahad's gift with Earth as it is now. So instead, I was hoping you might let me tinker with the bunker bolt mechanism. Oh yeah, I bet you have plenty of ideas for that, huh? Given who you're buddy with. Actually, that's a good point. Will we see roast beef respife? Probably not. That'd be nice, but probably not. That'd be cool if they did add her as like a second shielder, though. I mean, it doesn't have to be right this second, but I have something in particular like to add to it before we get to the Atlantic. Before I got pulled into Trismegistus's development, I was working on a conceptual weapon related to one's natural longevity. Okay. It's just like being back at Chaldea. Yeah, pretty much 1-to-1, isn't it? Fofo? I know, some of the details are a little different, but it's still an amazing recreation of Chaldea's rooms. Shion and Captain really outdid themselves. Yeah, why don't you go check out your room, Mash? Oh yes, good idea. I was so happy I forgot all about that. No, okay, I'll go take a look at the room they gave me right now. Surely it's right next door, right? We're all done with work for the day, so there's no reason not to relax and enjoy yourself now. Good night, Senpai. I'll see you tomorrow morning for breakfast in the new cafeteria. Eepy. didn't realize how late it was. So? Are we being sucked into another dream? No? Guess not. Looks like it's 1 in the morning. Come to think of it, I didn't have any dinner. Bo's still fast asleep. Well, must not have been sleeping on your stomach or anything. Otherwise, you'd have woken him up. I can't believe this, the nerve of that Atlas churl. Not only did he not have my director's office ready, he had the gall to tell me to use a sleeping bag at the dock until it was done. Some captain he is. No doubt he's some pirate scum of a heroic spirit. If he thinks he can treat me like that... No, this won't do. I can't lose my temper like this. Get a hold of yourself. Be elegant. Breathe from the diaphragm, just like Tool taught you. Captain may try to hide it, but his dignity is unmistakable. No pirate could fake that. But then who could he really be? I just can't tell. If only I could ask him myself. But I can't do that. A commander must maintain a certain dignity. Why can't he just accept that we're allies now? And tell us his true name already? Because you don't wanna. I better make myself comfortable since I'll be spending the night here again. Munye, Quata, Octavia, Tomlin, Shin, Cayenne, Elron, Marcus. Kirilite, Ritsuka. I see I had no problem remembering to make rooms for all my staff. Well, they may have their cushy beds, but there's one thing I've got that they don't. Midnight snack time, ha ha ha. Now then, I think I'll go break in the new kitchen. Gordolf. We saw that, buddy. Or we didn't. And that was just prelude to what we'd see here, okay. Between the curling Chaldean spaces, I could see him eating. Do you often raid the kitchen like this? Probably. I'm not raiding anything. I'm merely having my midnight tea time. Right. You're sharper than you look, aren't you? I never imagined anyone besides me would try to get a jump in the kitchen. Still, I do commend your taste. I presume you were lured here by the sweet scent of butter. Oh, very well then. I've already had my fill. Here, you can have the other half. There's some leftover tea as well if you want it. It smells so good, how can I refuse? It's probably the most awkward tea time ever. Oh, well, by the way, is everything alright with you? And with the demi-servant girl, for that matter. Never mind. I can see you must have woken up in the middle of the night despite being utterly exhausted. That can only mean you've been unable to relax your mind amid all that's happened. Well, I can hardly blame you. This must have been an arduous journey for a young lady with no military experience. Once you've had some cake and a nice hot cup of tea, you should have no trouble drifting right off. Go back to your room once you finish that, and you'll see how right I am. And of course, I trust that you'll join me in pretending none of this happened tomorrow morning. Of course, director. We won't say a word. Now that you've eaten the other half of the cake I found here, that makes you my accomplice after all. What do you mean by that? Exactly what I said, of course. I found this cake here with a note that said, "For Ritsuka." We'll see you 8 hours. Don't bother making excuses. Your friends baked it as part of a master welcome party. They'll be throwing you tomorrow morning, didn't they? Some nerve you lot have. Throwing a party and not inviting me. I admit I was pretty steamed when I saw this cake with your name on it, but I calmed down quickly and decided to do the kind thing and taste it for you. What a magnanimous, forward thinker you are. Before I knew it, I didn't have the thing. In fact, I was just appreciating how delightfully sweet its cream was when you found me. Now then, are you all finished? Haha, good, good. This makes us partners in crime. But I thought you made this cake, director. Huh? Hold on. You mean you didn't know about this cake? Oh no. Oh wait, no. Is this the assassination? Then who made it? And more importantly, is it just me, or were we both looking off color? I also can't help but notice that I'm feeling rather cold and dizzy all of a sudden. Oh boy. That's not good. Warning, warning, unauthorized life form detected. Civilian personnel, please remain in your rooms. Security team, please suit up and come to the command room. Unauthorized life form? Then we've got an intruder here. What the? Captain! El Capitan! Get back before you get hurt. There's a real nasty woman over there. Captain? Who is it? We know who it is. Come on now. Well, this is an unpleasant surprise. I never thought a grown man would stoop to stealing food meant for a child. In fact, you shocked me so much that I lost control of my presence concealment. This seems the one thing you excel at, getting in other people's way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Excellency? Tamamovich Koyanskia? Impossible. How did you get into the Wandering Sea? Hold up. Run that name by me again! Trade secret. This is a special trick I'm afraid I can only do once. And now, you've gone and ruined it, Your Excellency. There was only enough poison in that cake for one person. Half a portion means half the effect. I can't believe my plan to poison her without leaving behind any evidence has backfired so spectacularly. Poison? Poison, don't be absurd. I give it a thorough taste test to ensure it was safe. Between the buttery scent, the buttery taste, and the creamy light texture, it was a perfectly gourmet cake. If it had truly been poisoned, I would have spit it out on the first bite. I accounted for that, of course. I made sure to use just enough that not even a mage would notice. I even went to the trouble of mixing it into a delectable cake instead of plain old water, just to be doubly certain. Yet his, yeah. What's done is done. Well, at least that means neither of us will die, probably. Hopefully. And since it looks like everyone else is on their way here now, I think I'll take my leave before things turn violent. I'm sure you'll have no trouble figuring out what the poison was with Sherlock and Da Vinci here, but that's all you'll be able to do. If you want to actually neutralize the poison, well, you'll have no choice but to fight your little friends to the death again. And that should be quite entertaining in its own right. So she got the poison from the Lost Belt we're gonna have to go to, I guess? Damn it, she's warping away. What are you waiting for, you fool? Hurry up and catch her before she... It's no use, she's already gone. Never mind her now. We need to get you two to the infirmary. Shion, we've got an emergency. Take Da Vinci and meet us inside the border. I'll do my best to cleanse the poison from them in the meantime. But it ain't gonna work, huh? Well, R.I.P. Gordolf and Ritsuka. You had a good run. I just got out of the infirmary. Senpai, are you okay? What did the test say? Calm yourself, Miss Kirilight. I'll get to that. It's been half a day since Kuryanska infiltrated our new base. We've done everything we can to treat Ritsuka and Mr. Godolf. Bluntly, Mr. Godolf has at most 10 days left to live. As for Ritsuka, this is rather difficult for me to say, but... Ahem. Difficult as this is to... Right, because we have the fucking poison resist. I guess Koyonskia didn't read that in our file. She's essentially fine. The poison remains in our system, but it will have no more effect than a bad cold. A cold? Even though it's fatal for Director Gordolf? That can't be right. We both ingested the same amount of poison. Yes, but thanks to her contract with Miss Kirillite, Miss Ritsuka has a rather potent resistance to poison. If that contract were to be broken, she would most likely be dead in an hour. Thanks, Smash. You saved me again. Random bullshit plot point that was added in LB... What, LB4 was when it was first mentioned? Go! Well, of course I'm honored to be helpful, but... Don't we still have to do something to help Director Gordolf? Damn straight you do. What are you waiting for? I know you can figure out an antidote. They say genius recognizes genius, right? And you're two of the greatest geniuses in human history. Then put all the genius to work, and help me already. Oh, yeah, singularity. Sorry, I've lost spells from the brain. Yeah, lost, singularity 4. I'm terribly sorry, but for once, there's nothing we can do. We analyzed Koyonsuke's poison, and I'm afraid she's chosen some, frankly, troublesome ingredients. Its base sequence does not exist on Earth in 2020. As such, there's no way for humanity in its current state to reproduce it. Which also means it's impossible to formulate an antidote. Its base sequence doesn't exist on Earth in 2020? That's what he said. So, Transmessages 2 is telling us, yeah. We did determine that the poison they ingested is some sort of natural substance. But we've had no success in determining what plant it was extracted from. All we know is its name, Shunshui Ming Mai, or Immortal Decline, and the fact that it was used a number of times in the past. I can tell you that its name is likely of Taoist origin, considering all its references to immortality, and that the plant it comes from is medicinal, but unfortunately that's all. Then we have to go do a lost spell. This can't be happening. Then my chances for receiving the antidote are 0. Not quite. Not to worry. That's what you've got me for. We may not be able to reproduce the poison just yet, but since we know it's of Taoist origin, it most likely comes from China, so our next step is clear. Just because it's gone in the modern era doesn't mean we're out of options. After all, we've got a whole different China we know nothing about just waiting to be explored. A China that followed a completely different path than the one in proper human history. So I'm absolutely, completely certain that we'll find an antidote to that poison in the Chinese lost belt. Even if we don't, we can learn what it's made from by studying the local ley lines. As luck would have it, I have just managed to summon the perfect guide for us. Come on in. Oh, who? This is a momentous occasion. The very first helper of resummoned with Caldio's spirit origin graph. Resummoned, okay. Faster than the wind, cuter than fire, this lotus spirit's charms even melted the heart of Thais and Ren. That's right. It's the artificial Baobei made in ancient China, the marshal of the central altar, Crown Prince Neza. Da Vinci, that intro is wasted on me. It's embarrassing. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you since Salem, but I am honored to be the first resummoned. Ni hao, happy day. Ritsuka, Mash, I have heard what happened. You did so well surviving that. I will help you from now on. I will. Work 3, times harder to make up for lost time. Thank you, Neza. Thank you. That's wonderful. Da Vinci, you beautiful goddess. I knew glasses suited you. Then you'll go to the Chinese lost belt to save me. Fantastic. The Atlantic lost belt can wait. Besides, we need to deal with all of the cryptos sooner or later. Prepare to go immediately, everyone. We're invading the Chinese lost belt to take back proper human history. You're very gung-ho. When your life is on the line, huh? The next lost belt. No, I understand how you feel, Master, but Director Gordolf's life is at stake. We have to deal with all of the lost belts, no matter what may be waiting us in them. After all, we're not wanderers. We have our own world, with our own history. Yeah, I know. What? Alright, understand, I have no objections. This should be a good learning experience. Besides, you're still technically poisoned yourself, Ritsuka. Yeah, probably should get it cleared out, just in case we ever lose their contract with MASH. That'd probably be a good idea. Just because it's not affecting you right now, doesn't necessarily mean it won't later. We really should neutralize it. What's a barrel is... For me, he seems... I don't know, they painted him as some sort of, like, crazy murderer when they were introducing him during the prologue. But... I don't know. He at least seems to be loyal to Wodime. Even if a little, cheeky. But... I assume he'll probably be pretty ruthless when we deal with him. Peperoncino? I don't know. I don't see what Pepe wants out of this whole Cryptor having a lost belt, or realistically, Wodime's lost belt become the new human history. I don't. He seems like someone who just is along for the ride, but I don't know. I'm hoping we don't have to have an enemy of him. Like, oh, maybe he'll go the route of Ophelia and help us at the end of his. I don't know. So that was probably a one-time thing, but we'll see. We'll see. Wonderful. This is tremendously promising. What are we waiting for? Let's get the border ready to... Not so fast. There's something else we need to clear up first? What? How did Kyonsuke enter the Wandering Sea? We need to understand that so we know it can't happen again. It should be impossible to warp into the Wandering Sea from the outside, since it's impossible to see, and its coordinates are always changing. And yet she popped inside like it was nothing, which means she probably had something planted on Gerdulf, probably? There must have been something she was able to use as an anchor. Just to clear up any doubts, Miss Shion, I don't suppose Kyonsuke was originally from the Wandering Sea. Or perhaps she had visited here at least once before. No chance, this was definitely her first time here. And that leaves only one possibility. One of us summoned her. Or rather, more precisely, one of us possesses something with some connection to her. Something connected to her. Well, I've been wondering why Gerdulf, from the very beginning, had, like, these buttons on his jacket that were with the Chaldea symbol. Like, even like from the moment he arrived, he had it on him, which seems kinda sussy, to be honest. What do you think it could be? For this, I doubt it's anything related to magecraft. Could be as simple as a pair of gloves or a hairbrush. Whatever it is, I'm guessing it's connected. It's something small that contains a fragment of Kugansuke herself. Yeah, his belt's on his jacket. Dr. Gordolf, is something wrong? I'm so sorry, Your Excellency. I appreciate your kindness, really. But I've been hurt too many times in the past. I just can't bring myself to trust anyone else again. Oh my god. Even though I really want to. Snuggling up close. Yes, of course. I understand completely, darling. Why? Rest assured, I'm a patient man. I can wait as long as I must to melt the ice around your heart. In the meantime, you may use my connections as you see fit. I'm not known as Music the Phoenix for nothing, after all. My passion's as hot and sultry as my namesake. Man, what the fuck? Hey, bruh, I did not need to hear that right now, Gordolf, buddy. I really didn't. Or read that anyway. I swear to you that one day my undying love will find the perfect Mika coat to warm your frozen heart. Huh? Why'd you say anything? Forgive me, Your Excellency, I was just so touched by what you said. The little laugh. Here, Your Excellency. I want you to have this lipstick. Pretend it's me. Keep it close to your heart where no one can ever see it. I know how awful I can be, so I'm afraid I may end up disappointing you over and over and over. Over and over. But please, please remember this. If you swear to hold on to that lipstick forever and ever, I promise you that one day I'll return to you, no matter what fate may have in store. Snuggling up even closer. Yes, of course, I'll remember. I have faith in you, Koinsuke. I always will. Foe? He just started bawling. Is that lipstick? Why, you. You stupid thing. Man. I can't blame him though. I can't blame my man. So it turns out it was actually Gordy's fault. Yeah. Farewell, lipstick. Farewell, fond memories. At any rate, that's one problem taken care of. We've finished investigating the base, and removed all traces of Kugansuke, or anything she left behind. We should no longer have to worry about unexpected visits from her in the future. Correct, Miss Shion? Yeah, she had one shot at taking you out, and she blew it. I would venture a guess that she's none too pleased right now, but you know what to say. What goes around comes around. Over. I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. Helms, Da Vinci. As I was saying, we need to leave for the Chinese lost book immediately. I trust the border is ready. We only have 10 days to find this plant and we can't waste a single minute. Time to think of it. Are you sure we'll make it in time? I'm not already done for, am I? Don't worry, I haven't thought about that. I just need to run it by Shion. Shion, designed to the Paper Moon. Do you think it'd be possible to zero sail from here all the way to the Chinese Lost Belts border? Especially since I'm guessing Captain there is actually... Shut it, Da Vinci. I can't stand having other people share my secrets. Fair. Of course, I'll keep my mouth shut. As long as you help us out, that's all that matters. In my estimation, a zero sail should let us jump from the Wandering Sea straight to China. We'd still have to worry about getting inside from there, but but I figure the actual trip to the Lost Belt would take less than a day. What do you think, Shion? Am I totally off base? Nope, all sounds right to me, Da Vinci. No wonder you're Chaldea's, or rather, humanity's guardian. I would have suggested the same thing. You were just quicker about it. The Atlas Institute will be glad to get you to the Chinese Lost Belt. Right, Captain? I'm not part of the Atlas Institute, but I suppose I can help. I'll have you to the Chinese Lost Belt in less than half a day. After that, it's all up to you guys, Ritsuka. Right, thanks, Captain. Fo-fo! Guess we all agree then. Okay, everyone, get ready to head out. I estimate you should have room in the border to fit supplies for about 15 days. I'll open up the Wandering Seas dock in an hour, so please make sure you're all set by then. Aye aye, miss. Ma'am. Your next destination is the Chinese Lost Belt. Your objective is to obtain some Shan Shui Ming Mai, investigate the Lost Belt, and completely cure your 2 poisoned personnel. Oh, and for the bonus round, you can defeat the Lost Belt's king, cut down the Tree of Emptiness, and take out the Cryptor. Yeah, if we feel like it. I know you're working against the clock as well as any hostiles you encounter, but try to stay calm. At this point, any differences the Atlas Institute or the Wandering Sea may have had no longer matter. From this point on, I hereby dub the Wandering Sea Chaldea No. 2, Novum Chaldea. As Chasmage is just True's caretaker, I'll do everything I can to support you. Alright then. It's time to get this operation, this order to explore and decipher Lost Belt No. 3 underway. Good luck with everything, and I'll see you all when you get back. And so it begins.
日本ではこの時期雪祭りが行う小さなことからコツコツとですね。一歩一歩着実に前進していきましょう。
Yeah, the bleach. I can't access the bleached earth until I'm like caught up to the story, right? Like fully caught up. Yeah, okay. One for watch. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. I don't want to push my throat too far. But I will continue tomorrow so I can get those last few Saint Quartz, you know? So yeah, we'll start. Go into the storm tomorrow, and hopefully... I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. Hopefully... Because, obviously they're gonna get the cure, right? So, hopefully it wouldn't work for that. I don't know why I said hopefully, to be honest. I guess hopefully get to an actual battle. And not just raw dialogue for another 2 hours. But yeah, was not expecting Nemo to show up. He I kind of assumed he was like an event servant. To be fair, I wasn't expecting Shion to just have a servant in general, so I guess, you know, there's that. But yeah. Anywho. That's gonna do it. And he technically is an event, so you can play both an event. Well, I meant event servant in the sense that he was introduced in an event, I guess. Like, character-wise. But yeah. I honestly don't know who to expect as the cryptor here. Because I assumed Barrels would have been South America, since it said, or they said that South America was like dead, but maybe not. Because I can't imagine Daybit. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, that'll do it. Thanks for hanging out, and yeah, sorry for having to like mute and take my cam away occasionally. I just the cough just get bad, and yeah. They're not super common. Like, it's pretty much almost gone. It just hits me every now and then. I'm like, but yeah, hopefully sometime this week they'll be gone completely. But yeah, anyway, I'll catch you all later. Peace.